You can always tell when someone doesn't like their financial situation. You can always tell when someone's a little bit embarrassed about their living situation. You can always tell when someone knows deep down they're not in the position they're supposed to be in. They could be doing a lot better. Just by a little small comment that they might make. Had this a few times. And this is what I always say. Man and gal for make something of themselves. So when they're 40, 45, 50 years old, they can look back and think, you know what, all right, I'm not a multi-millionaire, but you know what, I've got this, I've done this, I've achieved that, you know, I've set myself up nicely. You don't want to be 40, 45, 50 years old and you're embarrassed about your financial or your living situation. That you don't want to believe that you could do a lot better than the position that you're in. Just by a little comment, man, read it between the lines. Listen, people say, the things people say is for a reason. When people say certain things, they're projecting their own insecurities for the most part. Had one comment from a tenant today, and I had one a few months back. And I'll start with the one a few months back. So basically, I get all the tenants' numbers, as you know already. Man, work in the council houses in Northampton, doing the electrical testing, and I get the tenants' numbers, and I must have phoned up one woman, and I basically said to her, look, I need to come and do the test, just making sure you're available and that, because this person has had like a third final letter warning, and basically that means if I can't attend their property and do the test, they get a fine and that. So I made sure I phoned this woman beforehand to let her know that I was coming. And the test was booked for like 2 o'clock or whatever. But she didn't want me to come. She was being really abrasive and evasive and that. And I said to her, look, I need to come at 2 o'clock and that. Is that okay? She said, can you come at 3? I said, all right, then fine. I said, well, I'm just basically phoning you to tell you that when I come, I need to turn the power off. Because obviously some people might work from home and obviously it's going to disturb their work and that. When someone's being abrasive and evasive, they hear the wrong thing. She said, listen, yeah, just because I live in a council house, that don't mean that I sit at home all day not working. I said, miss, I didn't even say that. I said, the reason why I need to turn off the power and I'm letting you know is because obviously it might disturb your work because you're working on a PC and that. When someone's being abrasive and evasive, they hear what they want to hear. You see that comment there? Just because I live in a council house, that don't mean I don't work, you know. She knows deep down she's not in a good financial position. She knows deep down that she should be doing better. Funny enough, you see, it's so funny. These people live in council houses and that, and they don't like the stigma that is attached to it. But yet still they wear... I went to the woman's house. Balmain slippers. Balenciaga t-shirt she's wearing. Givenchy sliders, blood. But there's holes in her walls. She's one of them gal there. You know them type of gal who... She looked like she could be on The Only Way is Essex. She would have been decent. Like, she had a bad acne problem and that, but I don't know, maybe she's... You know, like women, they get hormones and they flare up with bad acne sometimes, innit? Yeah? This gal was like one of them type of gal that got tan and, you know what I'm saying? The girl walking around in Balenciaga t-shirt and that, or Balmain t-shirt and that. One of them type of gal, when they walk out on the road, they are 9/10 out of 10. But yet still, you got holes in your walls and your yard is a mess. Not dirty, but your yard is a mess. And it's not a mess because you're disorganized and that. Well, physically, you're disorganized in your head. Her life is a mess. She's just a mad gal, innit? She's just mad, innit? She was telling me stuff. Oh, you know, I had the police come to the house the other day. Anyway, you see that comment there? Just because I live in a council house, that don't mean that I sit at home all day and don't work. She knows deep down she's not in a good financial position, you know. She knows she could be doing better. More than likely, the people that she flexes with are doing well. More than likely, people that she's flexing with, they all have puppies and that. And she's envious. She's jealous of them, you know. Because like I said, she one of them gal that wear all them brands and that. And some people that do wear all them brands and that do live quite good and that. They'll have nice detached houses or whatever in it, yeah, and they own their own property and that. They drive a nice car. Mad gal. I told her that, yeah, they're going to want to fine you if I can't come. She was like, yeah, you can add that to the rest of the parking tickets and that. She don't even pay her parking tickets. Probably get the car clamped and towed away and that. But that was a couple months ago. Today, some woman made a comment, and I know deep down she knows she's not in a good financial position. She's probably embarrassed her living situation. She's probably embarrassed that she lives in a council house. Phoned her up, no answer. Text her, Then she phoned me back. I said, yeah, it's the electrician, boom, boom, boom. I said to her, yeah, I did tell your company that I'm not going to be available today. I do work, you know. You see that comment there? You see that statement there? I do work, you know. She basically knows that most people who live in council houses don't have jobs and that. So she don't want to be put in that bracket. She's embarrassed that she's put in that bracket of people who live in council houses and don't work. You know why? Because she ain't put in the work to put herself, to exclude her from that position. You think I'll phone up an engineer when I'm doing my home emergency or whatever, innit? The home emergency cover, innit? Do you think I need to tell them I do work, you know? I do work full time and that. Now, you never know. Maybe the home emergency company that services or provides a service for NatWest, because I'm with my NatWest home emergency. My home emergency service is with NatWest, innit? And they subcontract different companies. And you know what? They may think that, you know, or maybe some of their jobs that they go to are council houses, innit? I don't know. But more than likely, they will know this guy is a homeowner, so therefore he does work, innit? I don't need to tell people, oh, I do work full time, you know. I am not embarrassed about my living situation, my financial situation. I'm proud. Like I say, I'm proud. Right now, I'm in the process of buying my third property. By the time you see this, I probably would have completed. Take a long flipping time, though. 10 to 12 weeks to complete, man. And you know what? It's not a long time if you know it's if it's certified. But the reason why I hate the process of buying a property, and I'm still advising people, buy a damn property, innit? But the reason why I don't like the process of buying a property is because it takes a long time, and at any point, the person who's selling the property could pull out. And that's just you buying a property off of someone. Imagine if someone's in a chain where you got 4 or 5 people in a chain. You know, if one person drops out, because basically a chain is basically when you want to buy someone's property and they want to buy a property, so they're dependent on the sale of their property and that, and the person that they're buying a property from might be dependent on the sale of their property and that. And if, you know, someone in that chain, if they decide to not sell their property or they don't get the price, then they're going to pull out, then it messes up the whole thing. I don't want to be in no chain and that. So yeah, you're sitting there and you're waiting for 10, 12 weeks and that. Something could happen and they decide to pull out and that. Then you have to go and look for another property. I ain't got time to be wasting 12 weeks sitting around. Because I'm not going to bother going and view other properties and that. I mean, I could, but why am I going to want to drive around and view other properties when I've got my heart set on one? Obviously, don't put all your eggs in one basket and that, but yeah. But yeah, when people make little comments and that, you just know they're embarrassed slightly of their living situation. I do work, you know. I don't sit at home all day not working and that. Dumbness. Anyway, man, make something of yourself so that when you're 40, 45, 50 years old, you're not living in no council house. You're not, you know, embarrassing your living situation and that. I've been to some people's houses and that, and they've done it up inside. I'm like, oh, your house is nice. It's like, yeah, just because I live in a council house don't mean I live like a tramp and that. Because they know most people who live in council houses live like tramps. You don't want to put yourself in that box. You don't know people that live in a detached house that they own. You know more than likely they don't live like tramps on the inside and that. Because there's a stigma, a good persona that comes with it, owning your own property. There's no good persona. There's only a bad stigma that comes with living in a council house. Don't put yourself in that position. Stay away. It's done now.